Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the garden. Spring has sprung and it is time to get cleaning. Alright, we are going to start our spring cleanup here in this garden bed in the rose walk. This is the bed that has our roses or hydrangeas or perennials in terms of our alliums. Right, this is the bed that is crying out for lots and lots and lots of help. If you see all of those leaves, alright, all that mess on the ground, we are going to try to get that all up, or most of it up today. See if we can get some fresh compost on the bed, and then of course see if we can start cutting back some of our perennials and figuring out what we want to do with our roses. Alright, and now before we get started, I should take the time to introduce myself to you. If this is your first time viewing the channel or joining me in the garden, hey, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Naomi. I'm a newbie gardener, gardening here in Zone 6B of St. Louis, Missouri. I've been gardening now for 3 years, a year and a half, almost 2 years hands-on. I've been learning, making lots and lots and lots of mistakes, right? Planting things way too close, can I tell you? But listen, it has been fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and the more I do it is the more I get addicted to it. Okay. Alright, now I'm a lover of all things roses. This is supposed to be a rose garden, my attempt at creating a rose garden. So it is filled with roses. I've got some hydrangeas. I'm trying now to learn to add in the annuals and other companion plantings and perennials. That is going to take me a while. I have over maybe 80 roses growing in the garden right now. So from 0 to 80 in 3 years. It has been an interesting process. Awesome learning experience. And I am loving every minute of it. Alright, so without further ado, let me not get into the talking, because I'll start walking you through the garden and showing you every single rose. Alright, so before we do that, let's go ahead and roll up our sleeves and get to cleaning out this bed. Love it! I'm looking at the bed like this and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do? Sometimes when you look at the beds and they look just too big and too much for you, I guess the most important thing to do is to just get started, right? Just start. So I'm going to start right here in this section, and it's the middle of the bed, and then we'll work our way around and out. Oh wow, look at this, people. So I'm cleaning out the bed. This is Elizabeth, and didn't put on much growth last year, right? But look at this down here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, a whole, is this new growth just popping up from the, coming up from the roots. Basil break, but leafing out so low. That's kind of interesting to me. I don't think my roses leaf out that low to the ground. They normally push up before they leaf out. So that's kind of weird, right? Look at this. Interesting. And to be all leafed out like that, that is interesting. Very interesting. And to be so small, that's kind of odd. Do you think that odd? I think that interesting. Let's keep an eye on her, and let me see. Elizabeth is, I think she's grafted. Isn't she grafted? I don't think she's on root. I think this was a grafted rose. But I think it's so interesting that she'd be doing this. Straight down to the ground. Let me come up. Maybe it was a little bit blurry. See? This is her all the way up here. And if this is a basil break, all leafed out at the very bottom. Let's keep our eye on that. It's very thick though. In terms of the width of the canes field, it's very thick. So that's interesting. Alright, my roses are more ready than I am. My roses are telling me, hey, come on Naomi, get the garden cleaned up so that we can get to doing what we want to do, right? Alright, let me put you back on here. Sorry you're seeing my shadow, but that does tell you it is an absolutely bright, beautiful, sunny day. The winter was a hard one, because I remember, oh my goodness, I remember going through 2 weeks of just no sun. It was the most difficult time for me. I need the sun, man. Could not see not even just a little bit of sunshine. Alright, still got lots to do on the bed. I've been working on it for, what, 15 minutes, and I feel like I've made no progress. But we're going to keep going. All right. Alright. I'm afraid of what is under here. Well, nothing is under there. Woo, okay. I was afraid of what was going to be under the drain pipe, but nothing was there. To get this thingamajigger weed out. For the winter weeds, I find they're not deeply rooted. You just have to go in with your spade or your shovel and just dig them out on the surface. Not as scary as I thought it would have been. Thought I would have had something coming out of there to say hello to me. Alright, beautiful people. Right, we have gotten a little bit done, a little bit lot done. Right, I'm standing now in front of the alliums that I forgot to cut back last season. Now, because I didn't cut them back, I'm left with all of this beautiful mess here with the growth coming out. I'm tempted to remove the alliums from the space, but I do not have a place in mind for them, so we may have to have them go through the season here. It's just that they're going to be pretty close because I had popped a poet's wife right in the center. I think I mentioned earlier, right? If we plant close, right? New gardeners always do that. I don't know, man. But let's see. But because of my inhibitions and my fear of bugs and snakes and everything that might be hiding in this bed of messy things, let me just check to make sure we are clear before I stick my hands in there. Make sure nothing's growing in there for me, except the allium itself. Alright, nothing's coming out. It might be safe to get all hands in there. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is just cut back a bit to see if we can get some of that dead foliage off and see the green, the beautiful green that wants to wake up, right? That has woken up. Alright. It's gotten very windy. Let me see how thick these are. Oh, well, they're not even thick. That's nice. I can actually get at it with my pruners. I wonder if I could just rip her out with my hands. Oh, look, guys. What? I don't even need my shears. Look at this. What? Stop it. Did you see that? I did not know that would happen. Let me do that again. Hands, no shears. What? Alright, this is good. Nature took care of herself. Love it. Here was so worried about how to get rid of this. And it was as easy as grab and pull. What? Alright, alright. I did not need to cut anything, guys. I just needed to grab them and pull them out. Alright. I like this. Easy plants. Okay. So if you forget to cut back your alliums, no need to worry. Just grab and pull. Right, let me put my pruners down since it's so easy. Let's go ahead and get the others done really quick. Alright. Alright, going to see if I can get some compost on the beds before I lose light. But can I show you something real quick? So, as mentioned, I brought the compost in December with the intentions of having it over all of the beds, but wasn't able to get it done. So, we piled it up in sections of the garden. This is one section that we piled it in. And what I'd like to show you is take a look at the grass that's immediately surrounding the section where the compost is. Do you see how absolutely green and gorgeous and thick and healthy the grass is? Wow, let me show you the grass in the rest of the section where no compost. Right, so no compost. Compost. What a difference, right? So I'm happy that I had gotten some on the beds that did get it. I'm disappointed I hadn't gotten it on all of the beds. But I now believe, I now believe in compost. So no more bark mulching for me. I think from now on, my top dress for every year is going to be compost. I am loving it. Again, look at that. Look at the grass right there. Right where the compost is sitting. And then just 2 feet away, look at the rest of the grass. Nothing. Right here, everything. Wow. Alright, let me stop the jibber jabber and see if we can get at least 2 loads of it down. Oh, and the awesome thing is, sorry, just had to interrupt with this. Remember, this is where we're planning on putting the incredible hydrangeas. Can you imagine how happy they're going to be once we put them here? Because that means there's going to be a lot of love and energy waiting for them once we plant them, right? Loving it. Okay, let me get my wheelbarrow. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get at least 2 wheelbarrows down before we end the video. That'll be good. Because I do want to clear these beds because I want to get the incredible hydrangeas transplanted as quickly as possible. Let me see what's going to be nice. Ooh. Put me on some gloves, my mask. Because this stuff has been sitting for a minute. And it is compost. Should be wearing glasses too, right? To keep the dust out of my eyes. Alright, let's see. Alright, we're gonna need something a little bit heavier. There we go. Alright, beautiful people, we are running out of light, and so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. But before I do, let's show you what we got done, right? Hopefully I'll have an image of where we started. You know, this is where we are. I've got fresh compost down on maybe just a quarter of the bed. Most of the leaves are up. The alliums were way easier to take care of than I thought. It was just a matter of holding the old dead foliage and pulling that out. Came right out so easy. Okay, the leaves on the endless summer hydrangea, I did not clear that plant. I'm leaving it as covered as possible because my endless summer hydrangeas are so sensitive to the cold, man. Let me tell you, last season, I know I must have said this over and over again last season, I got no blooms from them because we had the in and out cold snaps when the plant was waking up, and so we ended up losing all of those buds. So this season I'm trying to be more proactive and keeping an eye on the weather. Now, we were almost 80 degrees today. We're going to have a 50-degree drop by tonight. Our low is going to be in the 30s. I know, in the 30s, right? So I'm going to try to cover these before I go and cover them with some sort of fabric, a planter, anything that will cover them to hopefully protect them from the cold that will be here for the next 2 days. And hopefully we'll be able to enjoy some blooms from our endless summer hydrangeas, right? But again, this is where we've gotten so far. Got just one wheelbarrow load of compost down. I'll go ahead and we'll finish up the rest maybe well, it won't be tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be cold. And we'll probably finish that up as soon as the weather permits, right? So in the next day or two, we'll be back out here to wrap this bed up. I did not do... Alright, so we still have pruning to be done in the bed in terms of there is a rhodol rose there. The bulbul hydrangeas, I am not going to prune those babies. There is a commercial planting of hydrangeas, and I've watched them the last 2 years, and let me tell you, they do not prune their hydrangeas, yet they flower so beautifully, so big and abundantly every season, right? So I am going to try that. I'm going to experiment with my bulbos. Maybe the bulbos are not the best ones to experiment with, but I do think they had bulbos on that lot. So I'm going to experiment with not pruning my bulbos this year to see what they do. All right, the most I'll do perhaps a little later on in the season is to come in and remove some of the really straggly thin growth if I can't help myself, but otherwise I'm going to try not to prune them, and then we'll see how beautiful they are, if they will be beautiful for me later on in the season. All right, beautiful people, so I will go ahead and end the video here. Thank you so much for having spent this time with me in the garden. As always, you are awesome, and I will see ya in the next video. All right.